Hello, I'm Steven,
And I'm Aaron.
and we've just seen a
Minecraft
Minecraft movie. New film that's out in theaters right now, starring Jason Momoa and Jack Black, and it is directed by Jared Hess. Okay, so Jackety Blackety is Steve. At a very young age, he becomes entranced by the idea of becoming a miner. But he can't be a miner because child labor laws were still in effect back then.
And the local hillbilly just won't let him do it.
Fast forward many years later, Jackety Blackety is now a middle-aged man and decides, I'm gonna fulfill my dream and be a miner. So he does. He somehow finds a entrance into the overworld, which is the world that the Minecraft video game takes place in. Meanwhile, Jason Momoa plays Garrett, a former video game superstar. When he was a child, he was like the number one gamer prodigy. Now he's a wash-up who's running a failing video game pawn shop, basically.
Has to, buy storage containers just to pay his rent.
Yes. Meanwhile, again, there is another child prodigy named Henry who has a affinity for rocket science and creation, and he lives with his sister, and they have a dead mother and father, as is the case with so many family films like this. And eventually, all of these characters, including...
The zookeeper.
Yeah, was it a zookeeper or was it a real estate agent?
She's a real estate / zookeeper.
Oh. Eventually, all of these characters find their way into the overworld, which is being threatened by an army of pigs from the nether. You and I, at one point in our lives, were really into this game. Not so much now, because I think we've graduated to bigger, better things. In the case of me, it's that I just found games that were much better at simulating worlds.
I still very much appreciate the Minecraft as a game. But I think I've just been so far away from it for such a long time that I can't keep up with it, and I don't remember how to do some of the stuff that I used to be able to. Back when I started playing it, I was playing it a lot, and I was really getting into a lot of the systems. I should also note that I pretty much played exclusively on survival, and you pretty much exclusively played on creative.
Correct. I wanted the instant gratification of being able to build whatever I want without ever actually having to put in the work to do it.
And I wanted it to work for everything I had, so I was very, familiar with the systems, the mobs, the process of mining, getting items, getting gear.
And of course, there's the phenomenal music.
Yeah, and the soundtrack's one of the best ever.
But we're not here to talk about the game. We're talking about something less interesting, the movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny.
Until it became a Minecraft movie.
Until they went into the overworld and it became a Minecraft movie.
Yeah, the whole, first act of this, I was thinking, there's a little spark of that Napoleon Dynamite energy with these, oddball, nobody characters in a small town who kind of dream of big things. And I was really hoping they would carry that through the rest of the movie. But once they enter the overworld and the villains and Jack Black are introduced, it just becomes action set piece and slapstick and over-the-top dialogue and purposefully horrible and cheesy acting, but it doesn't make it any less bad.
When I think about this, having just seen it today, the whole thing just kind of reads as a blur of set pieces and action, and I don't really think there was any substantive character moments. The relationships feel very insincere, and the characters are painfully one note.
Well, they're stock, and their development is one page of material. It's okay, sister and brother have dead mother, and they're different people, and one is I don't know, overly cautious about the brother, and the brother's kind of an oddball who doesn't really seem to have a lot of friends because he's the guy who sits and does his creations and his artistic stuff. And what do the characters learn? It's okay, she learns how to fight, and he learns that being creative is cool.
The kid was already, embracing his creativity. It's just that people told him, oh, you get bullied for this here on Earth.
Yeah.
And all he did was learn to be even more creative in the overworld.
I will say, the first night of them being in the overworld and Minecraft world where they're kind of learning how stuff works and how to build things, and kind of using practical solutions to escape the horrors of the nighttime with all the enemies and the mobs that roam about. But there's just like, in a game where you can do just about anything that you can think of, it's surprising like how like uncreative this ends up being.
Yeah, so many scenes just felt like them explaining what happens in the game.
Yeah, and I was worried that's what it was going to be too. It's like, what's this thing do? This is a crafting table. You put a bunch of objects on it, and then skadoosh, you have a sword. It's like,
Yeah, if anything, this movie is a great instruction manual for the game.
yeah, I mean, obviously they take some liberties here and there with, the things you can and can't do in the game. But it's just crazy to me. In a game all about creative solutions to problems, this is just so by the numbers and standard, and like they didn't really use the world and the logic and the way the systems work to tell a fun adventure story. Like, you don't even have to have deep characters, but if you use like the game systems and the game rules to create interesting scenarios and then fun solutions for the characters to get out of them, that could work. But no, it's just, okay, we go to a village and then the pigs invade, so we just have a battle scene, and it's not really that interesting. They just kind of smack the pigs around with shovels and swords and hose and like water buckets. It's like, that's not creative. That's not interesting.
It's just kind of the greatest hits of any given Minecraft playthrough, visualized in live action. And of course, the look of the Minecraft characters. How'd you feel about that?
From like the first trailers, my gut reaction was like, oh no, what have they done? This is a huge mistake. This looks terrible. And the final version kind of ranges from, this looks terrible and it looks like everybody's badly green screened into this world, to, this actually looks pretty good.
And then you have the horrific nightmares that are the villagers.
Yeah, and then you have the villagers, which are just insane looking when you're trying to do it in like a live action animated type deal.
I feel like these character designs could have been faithfully translated if they had actually just had them be more flat and less three-dimensional.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because everything is like a little too rounded. The actual like overworld and its characters lose a lot of their charm because they've tried to spice up the graphics and make them actually feel like things that can exist. And it's like, well, you're supposed to be in a place where there really aren't any rules and anything goes and you can do whatever you want and nothing's supposed to make a ton of sense. Like, you cook a chicken with a bucket of lava. I mean, that's complete nonsense, but it works. Why can't we just have the characters be closer to what they are in the actual game?
Couldn't tell you. So it's kind of hard to talk about like the content of this movie because there's so little to talk about. I feel like it's just really just a barrage of imagery and not much substance. So I guess we'll speak a little bit about performances, specifically only two, because there's only two worth mentioning. First, we'll talk about Jason Momoa, because the other performance we're going to be talking about for a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah, I like Jason Momoa in this.
Yeah. I think his comedic timing was really on point, particularly during the On Earth segments.
Yes.
That was the best of him.
It felt like watching a Rex Kwon Do type character.
Yeah.
The whole time. It's like, this is just a strange guy, and like his line deliveries and the stuff he's actually saying, just very funny, very dry, very flat.
I do think that once they do get into Minecraft world, his character does start to lose his luster because he becomes a one-joke character that they repeat over and over and over again.
Yeah, he plays second fiddle to Steve. And
Yeah.
Steve's like the great warrior who knows everything, and, oh, I could do that way better than you. And that's he does for the rest of the
he
movie.
has this veneer of toughness, but then he keeps getting reduced to like screaming, shrieking Shaggy from Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
type, and they just keep doing that over and over and over again. But you know, Momoa's putting in the effort, and I commend him. So I did get quite a few laughs out of him. He gave me the most laughs out of everyone in the movie.
He's doing like this kind of a weird accent.
And then we get to Jack Black, and this is the worst performance he has ever given.
Yeah, it really is. And I think two things happened here. Either Jack Black would do the movie on the condition that he could pretty much do whatever he wanted
And sing.
and sing. And then two, the director who has worked with Jack Black before
Yes.
hired him because this is the performance they wanted and this is the energy they wanted for this movie. Both are terrible options.
Yes. When I saw the trailer, I was wondering, is every line of dialogue he says going to be delivered like this? And yes, it is.
Turns out that every single one of them is. He's doing like movie trailer voice the whole movie.
Yes. Come on, let's stock up on tools so we don't die. Every line of dialogue is like that. He's not a person. He's not a fully rounded character. He's, like you said, he's movie trailer voice.
Yeah.
Personified.
He talks like a 12-year-old. Like, I was in the mines the other day and I found some sweet loot I stored away in my dungeon. He can't say any word like a normal human being. There's like a little tiny piece at the end where he's kind of given a decision he has to make. And for a second, he actually feels kind of like a human being. And it's like, this character didn't always live in Minecraft world. Like, why does he talk and act like this?
It reminded me of frickin' Pistachio Disguisey from The Master of Disguise. This character who is put into perilous situations that are life-threatening, but he never sounds like he's actually being affected by what's going on around him. He always feels like everything's just bouncing off him, and he doesn't actually care.
Yeah, it's like he's doing a voice recording in the booth, but you're watching him do this live action in a movie, and it doesn't work.
No.
Like, if you're doing voice work for Poe, like, maybe you can get away with sounding like this or acting like this in the booth because you're not seen.
Yeah. Well, also, the Kung Fu Panda movies absolutely demand more of him than does this film.
Yeah, it's so strange to see a human being act like this. It is the worst thing I think he's ever done.
Throughout all of his yelling, he's frequently red in the face, and he's very corpulent, and he seriously looks like he's on the verge of heart attack a lot of the time.
Yeah, it looks like he's really straining to get some of these, like, line deliveries out.
I'm not trying to make a joke. It's like he legitimately looks unhealthy doing this.
Yeah, and another thing, like, I really don't care too much about how accurate it is to the video game in terms of, like, Steve's appearance, but the fact that Jack Black has got this giant beard, it just lends more credence to the fact that he really didn't care too much about this, or they didn't care too much about this. It looks like he just got up out of bed wearing his own clothes and came and shot a movie and did whatever he wanted to do.
His inclusion, despite his history with Jared Hess, feels corporate above everything else. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter if he, like, bears any resemblance to the character in the game. We can just put Jack Black in a blue sweater with his big beard and call it Steve.
Yeah. The rest of the cast is just either bland or they don't really have much to do.
The script services no one.
Jennifer Coolidge is in there. She's funny.
Oh, yeah, she usually is. There's a subplot involving a villager who accidentally makes his way to Earth, and Jennifer Coolidge, like, smashes into him with her car, and then a, like, little romance blossoms between the two of them. There's a few chuckles, I guess, but yeah.
There are a ton of Napoleon Dynamite references for some reason. I know that, like, he directed the movie, but, like, really?
Well, it is his magnum opus.
Like, there's a magazine somebody's reading, and it says Dynamite on the front of it. There's somebody makes a tater tot pizza. There's a tater tot gun.
And they're referred to exclusively as tots,
tots, yeah.
because that's what they were called in Napoleon Dynamite. There's also a joke at the beginning of the movie when Jack Black starts to build his world and he's learning how it all works. He says, "Oh, one of the first things I found out was pandas love to party." And he's like dancing with pandas. And I was like, okay, yeah, Kung Fu Panda. Whatever.
Oh, God. I did not even think about that.
Yeah.
I was just struck by like how much Napoleon Dynamite references there were, and it's like, man, they just keeps piling them on and keep stacking up these references. It's crazy.
I haven't seen Nacho Libre, so I don't know if there was any references to that.
I mean, there is a wrestling match in the middle of the movie.
Oh, yeah, but Jack Black doesn't participate.
No, he's tied up in the corner. It's just strange. It's a strange movie. It runs out of steam so quickly. Like after that first night where they learn how to do everything, it just becomes so tedious. And by the climax, I was really just kind of zoning out. And then it ended, and I was like, oh, that was it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Like, wow, big finish, guys. What did you like more, this or the Mario movie?
Good question.
Neither of us liked the Mario movie.
No, I laughed more at this.
Yeah.
I think I had a better time watching this.
Yeah, I might agree. I liked also like kind of the first act of the Mario movie, and then once it decides it's just Mario reference Palooza 5000, it becomes way less interesting.
Yeah, although that movie has a much better Jack Black performance.
Yes.
Ironically.
I really wonder how much better this would be if he was giving a more subdued performance. Because the thing I really like about that first act, and particularly Napoleon Dynamite, is the tone.
Yeah.
Like I said, it is that dry sense of humor with oddball characters whose faces barely move anytime they deliver a line, but it's so funny because of how dry it is.
Yeah, another reason why that first act works is because Jack Black isn't in it.
Yeah. Like, and I like Jack Black.
Yeah.
I think he's like a really funny guy. I think he's actually can be a good actor when he wants to.
Yeah. Shallow Hal is a good showcase of his ability to be vulnerable and show a softer, more heartfelt side to him.
Yeah.
But at the School of Rock.
Yeah, but there's nobody reining him in this movie.
I feel like Jack Black was more subdued in the Tenacious D movie.
Yeah, he probably was.
So what is your final number grade on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would give Jack Black a 1 out of 10. But yeah, overall 4. Did not like this.
Yeah, I'll say the same, 4. You can tell by our voices we're not very enthusiastic, even to dunk on this.
Yeah, well, and neither of us were expecting very much because like the trailers were so bad and worrisome because of how they presented Jack Black and the Steve character. But the movie kind of like won us over in the beginning and then just let us down. So
I think that's the most disappointing thing.
yeah,
You had us, and then you abandon us.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
So that's the Minecraft movie. Don't see it.